One of the things I talked to Campbell about is the fact that, even throughout the downturns in brown spirit sales, you guys have stuck to your core business. And, I asked him whether he felt vindicated, and he didn't like the word vindicated, but, that the trends have come back around and really now are doing very well for you guys, particularly with, bourbon and North American whiskey.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, because we tend to take a little bit of an insular look at it, and having had the experience of running Jack Daniel's globally, it allows me a little bit of a different perspective maybe than some people, which is, it's not like whiskey was ever in trouble. I mean, Jack Daniel's and our, in particular Jack, but a lot of our brands have grown over the years globally in a very significant way. Jack Daniel's actually is a brand that globally has never had really any kind of significant stall point since we bought it in 1956. We tend to look at it as a U.S. thing, right? So whiskey suffered in the U.S. from the mid-'70s till maybe around 2010.
Right.
And by suffering, Jack Daniel's didn't suffer. Jack Daniel's grew in each of those years, right? But the category suffered, and vodka became king, and light beer became king, and Chardonnay, sweet Chardonnay became king, and whiskey kind of as a category, struggled. To see it rebound is fantastic, and to see that people are caring about things that they consider crafted and authentic again. And it's not just it's food and everything else. I mean, it's actually the resurgence of flavor, I think, and of authenticity. And so it's funny. We tend to look at it in the United States maybe as a vindication, to use your word,
Yep.
But around the world, it's been humming since 1956 for Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I know for me, as an employee, my attitude when I first was hired 12 years ago is very different than today. My aspiration as an employee is not to be the CEO of the company. My aspiration as an employee is to be the best that I can be with the strength that I have, so that whatever role I'm in, at each job I'm in, that I can add value for the family, for the company, and then when I retire one day, I'm look back as Robinson, did a great job at the things he did. But I no longer feel this pressure to, I must aspire to be this certain role. And I really attribute a lot of that to what was set up by Owsley and then continued with Garvin and Paul.
How do you guys all stay on the same page as a family and make the determination of we're going to keep this business independent in the foreseeable future?
I just think that theme of independence, being smart owners and shareholders has been so consistent across, now, going into our sixth generation. It simply isn't, and performance is so exceptional. I mean, it just doesn't factor into our discussions at all, and it's actually nice that it doesn't, so you can focus on other things. We've been watching this go on around us for decades, and it's interesting. It continues to be interesting to see how it's playing out now, kind of with our distributor partners and everything else. And the last thing I would say is I've got this mint julep cup that is sitting on the shelf of my house here in London, and I don't know if you have a mint julep cup, but everyone needs one. And the mint julep cup is a special sort of silver cup that we use to drink mint juleps. So at the Kentucky Derby, and in the state of Kentucky, they're also used almost as christening cups when kids are baptized or at special events in one's life. Relatives might give you a mint julep cup to commemorate that moment. And anyway, after my dad died in 2010, I was going through his stuff and found this mint julep cup on his shelf. And I picked it up, and it had my dad's name on it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I saw my grandfather's name, George Garvin Brown II. And then I saw that it was from George Garvin Brown. And then I found my name on the cup. And no one had ever told me my dad had done this, but evidently someone engraved my name name on it in 1969, so I quickly engraved my son's name on it, and that sits on my shelf here in London. And so it's for me, that's just a fun metaphor and a sort of a token to remind me of all this good stuff that that is the Brown family and Brown-Forman intertwined.